Hello folks, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Such an honor to be here and to be able to read for you today. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time here at Unicorn Light Tarot, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, yay, thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. So we have so much energy going on at the end of 2019. I already did a reading for the full moon, which will be in Gemini. Which will be on the 12th, the 11th to 12th of December. I'm going to link that below. You guys can go ahead and have a peruse of that video and see what energy is coming up for you. But what also is going to go down, as it were, on the 12th is this huge portal. The last portal of 2019 will be open on the 12th of December, and it will close again on the 21st, which is the winter solstice, of course. This will be the last portal for not only 2019, but this decade. So that's kind of intense. So there's a lot that's going on with this portal, and I've had a lot of people asking me for readings in and around this portal. There's a lot of energies going up and down. This portal is going to be absolutely amazing. It's definitely going to bring in a lot of 5D energy. So if you've been going 1 foot in 3D, mainly in 5D, but coming into 3D and a lot of old stuff coming up, which is all 3D stuff, then this is going to be the reading for you. So we're looking for messages from our spirit guides to help us navigate the portal that's coming up on the 12th. So this is a timeless reading because not only is this portal open for those days that converge between those, let's see, the 12th and the 21st, it's also the opening of energy. And even though when the portal closes on the 21st, we will still be in and around this energy. So this energy is all about expansion. It's all about brand new beginnings. Now, we all have brand new beginnings, especially coming up into the new moon. And I feel as though for 2019, for a lot of people, there's been like moving forward and brand new ways of being. But this portal will bring in the kind of expansion that is absolutely brand new and can lead us into lives that we've always dreamed of. So it's going to be absolutely brilliant. And for those who have already sort of transformed and sort of moved into the 5D, but do feel as though some of you are being pulled back into the 3D, or like I said, a lot of old stuff coming up, crazy dreams, really, really old thought patterns coming up, and addictions even, you know, thick and fast. This is a way to sort of converge with this energy and really just sort of shift it once and for all. So this is going to be an important time. So that's what we're going to be doing. So this is a timeless reading, even though it's very specifically around a specific portal that's opening up in a specific time. This energy, like I said, really will be opening all of that energy. And just because that portal closes on the 21st, which is our winter solstice, does not mean that you know, all of that energy has already been let through and we're already going to be working with this energy. So it's a really, really expansive time. So let's remember the word is expansion here. I'm also always trying to figure out a way to make these general readings a little bit more personal. And I came up with an idea. So we have charms here. I really love using these. So after each pile, what we're going to be doing is working with some charms and getting some extra messages. It's definitely a way to maybe address certain people or certain individuals like much more specifically with the charms. So even though these are general readings, I do find that, you know, the charms can come up with like a specific message for one person and so forth. So hopefully that will work. That will happen today, and we'll definitely give it a try. So as always, we're going to take a deep breath and we're going to bring in our angels of love and light and our spirit guides. And we are asking for messages that will help illuminate our expansion coming into this portal that will be opening on the 12th, which is also the full moon. So as always, we have 3 piles. The first pile here, we have our lovely turquoise, our freedom bird on our second pile, and our tiger's eye on our third pile. So go ahead and take as much time as you need. Pause the video if you need to, see which pile resonates with you. and I'm going to go ahead and timestamp, leave the timestamps down below. So you can go ahead and go straight to your pile and find your messages, how to utilize this portal energy coming in. All right, so let's put these aside for now. And okay, pile 1, this is you. So if you chose the turquoise here, this message is for you. And again, it is a timeless message, even though we are talking about a specific sort of timeline here. But this timeline is really about expanding all of the timelines and sort of melding them into one. So we're looking for specific information, what to expect for this portal, the energy of this portal coming up. So we have oracle cards, and we also have some tarot cards in here, and I will be using the charms too, to get you some extra information. So let's see what we have here for pile 1. Ooh, luminosity. Can't go wrong with that. Okay, so self-love. I'm actually going to put this over there. King of Fire. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Advice from someone creative. 3 of Earth. So we have here the power of creativity, recognition for high quality work, be a team player. 10 of Swords reversed, and 6 of Pentacles. Okay, so pile 1, the first message I'm getting for you is that any doubts that you have about your path, and I feel like this has really been a thread throughout the readings that I've done, I would say for the last maybe month and a half, to really be true to your luminosity here and absolutely believe in what it is that you are doing in this lifetime and who it is that you are. So I do feel as though for this portal, you are being asked to step up in a way that might intimidate you. So your mantra is, why wait? I feel as though there's aspects that for some of you in pile 1, what you're trying to do, I feel as though there's been some ups and downs in 2019, and I believe we've all had those. But I feel as though for you, what you're trying to do for the end of the year is scramble around, get everything together, and move forward with, you know, quote unquote, all your ducks in a row. And really, pile 1, what the message that I'm getting for you is, don't do that. The portal that's coming in for you is going to be absolutely wonderful in a very specific way. It is going to ask you to step up into the unknown in a brand new way that you haven't done. So it's not asking you to have all your ducks in a row in any shape or form. It's asking you to move forward and reinstate your self-love and just work on just work on shedding everything that takes away from your luminosity here. So really all we have is we have truth, which is reversed here. You have the 10 of Swords, and then you have a little bit of confusion around you. I keep trying to scrabble for the right words, and normally I have them. But I feel like here there's a little bit of confusion because there's an aspect of you that just wants to walk brand new into your new life. But there's a lot of hesitation because there's still an aspect of you in the 3D that believes that, you know, your karma isn't done, and it really is absolutely done. Rest of it's to go. There's a few behavioral patterns here that you have learned to rely on, and I feel as though they're not exactly what I would call, you know, healthy. They are slightly negative. However, I will say this is really important to remember. They did get you through aspects of self and aspects of your life. And in some ways, they were quite successful and what you had to rely on at that time. So I don't feel like there's anything negative around them insofar as that we have to, you know, put the label of negativity or negative on them. However, none of those are going to work for you anymore. I feel as though any kind of narrowing of your viewpoint, any kind of narrowing of your viewpoint of this world and what you're supposed to do here is just going to be really expanded coming into this portal, which is only in a couple days' time. Now, again, as we discussed in the beginning, in the intro, the portal will be open for a certain amount of time. a week to 10 days. But it really doesn't matter, because the expansion that's coming in, pile one, will stay with you. And the expansion that's coming in for you is that you're asked to, and this is going to be really difficult for you because you definitely wanted all your ducks in a row and move forward. You're being asked by the universe, your message from the universe is to expand in such a way that you let all your plans go and sort of just move forward. I feel as though the way in which you've been dealing with your life in the last couple of months is that you've been over planning and getting everything in order. Now, I want to be clear here. It's really important that you do this, of course. Everybody needs to be pragmatic. Bills need to be paid. All sorts of things need to be done. And in those couple of months, I feel as though you definitely did step up and like really tick. I see a lot of you ticking things off your list, and some of them were significant that you needed to get done. And you really did pride yourself on being there for people and being the best person that you can be, and you absolutely were. Now, living to that kind of schedule was perfect for you in that time. The portal is bringing in new expansive energy, and they're asking you to be open to a brand new beginning. So not worry about the schedule. That's not to say that, you decided not to go to work that day. If you don't want to go to work, that's fine. That's not to say that things won't get done, but they're asking you to sort of go at it from a different perspective. So the idea of creativity, the way in which you've been using creativity, I feel in the last couple of months, again, has been extremely structured. So even when it was structured, there were spurts, you used that pragmatic mind, you got things done, you were happy with that. But they're asking you to expand that version and just go with the creativity and see what happens. Now, there is an aspect of yourself that is ambitious, charismatic, that is able to focus and able to really open up to expanding. The reason why you haven't done that in the last couple of months is because you're trying to keep things together, because I feel as though a lot of old stuff has been coming up for you that has been really chipping away at the idea of self-love. Now, let's be clear here. You've been working selflessly, I would say, over a 6 to 7 year period on self-worth and self-love. And you've been very successful in the way that you've done that. And as we have stated before, there's certain things that you have done that you've instigated into your life in order to help preserve self-love. They weren't necessarily addictions, but you may have abused things or done things and gone about the idea of self-love in a way that was perfect for back then. You are now asked to shift all of the ways that you had before. So this is going to seem a little overwhelming, but it really isn't. You've got yourself into certain habits that just no longer work for you at all. And they did work before, and now they don't work. And you're being asked to preserve your self-love in a brand new way, in a really expansive way. They're asking you to take your focus and your vision and your idealistic self, which you do have, and instead of creating a world for yourself, and within that world creating versions of that world and a schedule within that world of when you can be creative, they're asking you to expand that world and just see where it goes. So that's not to say, for instance, I'm a writer, I get up every day, there's a certain amount of hours that you need to put in order to, meet your deadlines and do that. The universe is not asking you not to do that. What they're asking you is to kind of to release the idea of the schedule and to trust that everything will get done when it gets done. And they're asking you not to try and keep, quote unquote, everything together, just to let it all go and see where it falls. You have been trying to keep everything together, including yourself, in the last couple of months. This has been an incredibly, I would say, tiring, brilliant, I keep getting the word elastic, coming backwards and forwards in the last 3 months. It's been exhilarating. It's also been exhausting. It's been frightening. It's been all sorts of different things. You've definitely shifted in the 5D, but like you said, you've got echoes of the 3D. So this portal will bring in the 5D for good, and it's asking you to put yourself into the position of luminosity and really encourage every aspect of self to just be themselves without having to adhere to any kind of schedule, and just to see where everything falls. You have a vast amount of creativity. You carry around a huge amount of truth that is not being utilized as well as it could be because of your scheduling, because of the way in which that you are living right now, and you feel as though you need to do this in order to keep yourself together, which is totally fine. I would say, based on the energy that I can feel of what you've been through in the last couple of months, you've achieved a great deal with the schedule. You've achieved a great deal with keeping everything together, and that's exactly what you needed, and you really have moved forward in a significant way. I think that's brilliant. But you're definitely being asked to utilize this fire energy, which is in Sagittarius. It's also a mutable sign, and just to sort of let go and see where everything goes, and you're asked to not just rely on your luminosity, but you're also asked to rely on your version of self-love, self-provision, and also your creativity. So trust that everything will get done. You will meet your deadlines, but you're being asked to remove all of the structures that you put into place, because you are moving through a brand new beginning where the old habits no longer work for you. And there's no narrow. I keep thinking for the last couple of months, even though you've expanded in many ways, you've done it because you've narrowed your world so you could deal with it. What you're being asked to do is expand absolutely everything, and trust that the truth that you hold, and the fire and the charisma that you hold, and the luminosity which is itching just to radiate out. And that's the thing that happens when you inch forward and you control everything that's going on. Even though that's a wonderful thing, and again, you've needed to do that in the last couple of months, your luminosity has been seen by people. It's been, it's definitely been witnessed, but it's not shined. It's not done what it can do, and it will be absolutely doing what you were meant to be doing in this portal, this full moon that's coming in. So you're asked to just let go. Your two words are let go. Now, this is going to be tough for you, because normally you're the sort of person that can let go in certain circumstances, and when you're done, you're absolutely done. But like I said, the last couple of months, you've been really, an aspect of you have been somewhat scrambling, even though you've actually made some headway in every single area of your life. So it's been this sort of weird paradox where you've achieved so much, and yet you've I don't even know. Yeah, let's not do the paradox thing, because that's not even going to work as an example here. But I do feel as though the self-love, it's your version of self-love is definitely going to shift in so what's going to happen is it's shifting, but it's actually going to be put to the test. But I don't want to put it like that, because it seems like you're going to be, you're going to be tested. You're absolutely not going to be tested. You're going to be asked to let absolutely everything go. So your self-love and your luminosity here, because, these two really are on either side, and they're just carrying the weight of all of this. And your guides are asking you just to trust in the balance of both of those and see where they go when you let go. So let's do this. I want to bring in just a couple of charms here and see if there's any. I hope this is clear. I feel as though this reading is kind of a little bit different to other readings, insofar as we're trying to get you all the messages that we possibly can. So let's see what we have here. So we have the little bicycle. We have Ganesh, which is wonderful. This is beautiful here. So we don't need that. So we have the infinity sign, which is beautiful. So this is just, so I'm seeing, so yeah, so this is also, so there's a few different things that I can see here with the bicycle. So the first thing is the infinity sign. So I think for clarity's sake, just in case it wasn't clear, your guides are asking you to think eternally, which is something that you haven't been doing. In some ways, you've definitely been moving forward, and you've been instilling certain ways to move forward, like you said, and they have been successful and they have worked for you, and want to be clear about that. But we're asking now for you to let go of all of those sort of earthy ways of doing things and to see things eternally, which is the affinity sign here. Now, this can be a little bit difficult to articulate, which is why I've been a little bit difficult to articulate, because we're talking about the eternal, and we're trying to get messages to you in a sort of a practical, grounded fashion, so you can integrate these messages and move on. But I feel as though this is kind of difficult because we're trying to encourage you to be completely eternal and brand new in a brand new beginning. So you have two of these bicycles. So there's two things going on. They really are asking you to work with your guides and move eternally, and not to make any plans. The other message that I'm getting for some of you, if this resonates, it's very specific, that the plans that you made are too small, and they're asking you to move forward in a brand new way. Also, I'm feeling with some of you, there is either a soul reunion, soul family, or there's other people coming in, starting with the full moon that's coming in and this portal. So your frequency will be completely different with your luminosity. So you will be attracting your soul family. So your plans will automatically change when you have new people and new frequencies around you. So they're asking you to, so this is a little, we have the little wheel here. So they're definitely asking you, and we have these images, they're asking you to use sort of sacred patterns and to be completely open to brand new ways of being, and to understand that the old no longer works for you. And it's not like, I feel as though some of aspects of old have not worked for a while, but you have been able to still utilize them in a way and move forward. They're asking you to not do that anymore. The sacred geometry is going to be huge for you. It means that you will be working in realms and dimensions that you haven't before. This to me is definitely travel, but it's traveling beyond sort of the dimension that we're in. So this is a brand new beginning in many different ways, which is why it was a little bit, I found it a little bit challenging to talk and articulate what we were trying to say, because it's sort of beyond words, if that makes any sense. So I hope this is a little bit more clear for you. Ganesh here does represent, I feel the message that I'm getting from Ganesh is very much that you are moving into this brand new era that you were supposed to be, that you're here to do. So whatever, if you're star seeds or light workers, this portal is opening up this expansion where you move into the specifics of what you're supposed to be doing here. And that is, you are all here, anybody that's listening to this, you're definitely here to celebrate being human and being on this earth, and to provide some sustenance for the 5D way of living. But there's a specific way that you're going to do that. I feel for you it's through creativity, but there is a specific way, and you will be walking right into that world with the leadership in many ways. And the easiest and the quickest way to do that, again, is to let go. Eternal luminosity. Just walk right into self-love and just let every way that you've sort of that you've been in the world before just fall away and see what is left. So they're asking you in some ways to start from nothing, but yet you have everything, if that makes sense. So this is it's a really beautiful and exciting time for you, Pile One. I hope that resonated with you, and I hope that made sense. If it did, do let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys, and do give me a thumbs up. This is literally a brand new beginning for you in a really specific way. And remember, your mantra is just let go, completely let go. And you can trust that all the work that you've done with the self-love and the luminosity, which is coming in and out, is being seen, but now it'll be witnessed across the globe. So you are going from one being to the eternal, and that is a beautiful way to be. So Pile One, this portal You can't beat it. Well done. All right. Take care. Do let me know in the comments below if this resonated. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, pile 2. This is you. If you chose the bird of freedom, yay. So this is a timeless message, like we said before, even though it is specifically about the energies of the portal and what it is bringing in for you. Even though the portal is only open for a certain amount of time, it's in and around 10 days, give or take a day. The energy that comes in for this portal will not leave. It's opening up everything. Even though it does technically leave on the 21st, your energy will be there and will have gotten everything that it needs to get. So for pile 2, what we're looking for is we're going to bring in our angels. We want to see what specific messages we have for the portal. Any messages that we can have for you to utilize the energy of the portal, integrate that into your life and expand it further. And for any specifics, for extra messages, specific messages, we've got these beautiful charms at the very end. All right, so let's get right in and see. Ooh, spiritual maturity, the unexpected, reverse, release, Azrael, end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. 10 of water, contented and rewarding family life. We have the 5 of Pentacles, and we have the Power card, Freya, one of my favorites, reversed. So the first message I'm getting, pile 2, is that there is a sense of urgency around your cards. Now the urgency, let's just say you have invented, I hate to say it, but you have. There's no real urgency, but it is there, so we are going to address it. There's a little bit of doubt. There's been talk of new beginnings. There's a little bit of doubt. I feel as though you are wondering what these new beginnings are. I think there's a part of you that's extremely excited about these new beginnings, and there's a part of you that's equally terrified about the transformation. So there's a part of you that's anxious to move into the new beginnings, but really are still thinking of the new beginning, maybe from a 3D perspective, where you're wondering, you know, will this work? You're doubting the new beginning. You're doubting it because you're coming from a place of a little bit of wondering about self-worth. So the first thing that's coming in here is that you have worked on yourself remarkably, I'd say, for the last 10 or 15 years. Now, if you're 15 years old, then you're an old soul. But for those of you who are a little bit older, you really have been working on yourself for a ridiculous amount of time. And you've trained in so many understandings or so many different sort of versions of self that you've pulled in all of this wisdom. Now, I feel as though you're usually very powerful, but you've had a little bit of a tough time, and this happened with pile 1 too. You've had a little bit of a tough time, I'd say, in the last 2.5 months to 3 months. A lot of stuff has been coming up for you. But at the same time, there's been this understanding of a vast excitement coming in. Now, there's a little bit of nervousness because even though you desperately want to release the old, and there's just a little bit coming up for you, and you know that you need to release certain things to be free, you're just wondering what's on the other side, and you're a little bit nervous about that. The unexpected is actually making you a little bit nervous. I feel as though the reason why you're a little bit nervous is because you can actually tangibly feel that what you have asked for is absolutely within your grasp, and there's a part of you, an aspect of you, that's terrified of that. Now, let's be clear and break this down. I would say the message that I'm getting, the reason why you're a little bit nervous, or some of you absolutely terrified of that, is actually not because you lack the self-confidence to be able to do that. Although some of you might be, feeling as though you're a little bit scared, you know, could you do that? But when you really think about it, you do understand that you do have the confidence to do it. It's not the self-worth necessarily, but I feel as though it's the responsibility of it. And that's the unexpected aspect of it. It's the responsibility of what you've asked for. You are being weighed down by the responsibility. of what you've asked for. And that is sort of taking away your power a little bit. Now, what the universe is saying, what your guides are saying is, don't worry about all of that. You keep doing this, pile two. You keep taking on the entire universe and trying to do everything yourself. You know, taking on the cosmos, the laws, natural laws, trying to figure out how everything works. Now, you know, you're naturally inquisitive. And like I said, you've definitely gone through your stages of learning and training and taking on new ideas. And all of that's brilliant. And you will be doing that successfully for the rest of your life, because that's the person that you always are, growing, expanding, becoming anew, shedding, and that's all wonderful. But in that time, I feel as though there's been a misunderstanding where you feel as though you need to take on absolutely all of this energy of the universe, and you have to be responsible for it completely. And I think you've misunderstood the idea of the understanding of what you're supposed to do in this universe, based on one person. So let me try and be a little bit clearer here. You feel as though your dreams are about to come true. You can feel it, and you're a little bit nervous of the unexpected because of the responsibility. But your idea is that you're going to be the only one out there, sort of unsupported, and even though you do feel as though you will have the support, you can't visualize. What you've not visualized is the support, the complete support that you will be getting when you put yourself out there and you achieve your dreams. And let's be clear, when you achieve your dreams, you're just beginning, because there's so much that you will achieve in this lifetime, and it's just really the beginning. So you have the aspect of self where you can imagine, and you can absolutely create this world where you absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, know that you're right in the middle of your dream and you're living it and you love it. But there's still an aspect of not being connected to the universe in a way that you feel as though you're responsible for that dream. And the universe is saying that there's no hard times that's going to come in when this dream comes in. You will be integrated into the universe. You will be connected with your soul family, with a very, very clear and pronounced platform of people who will support you. Now, that's not to say that, you know, in your life, nothing will ever go wrong again, or, you know, you won't have shitty days, pardon my French, but that's not really what they're saying. What they're saying is that you have a really strong soundboard of people that will protect you and will keep you sane and will integrate you and help you communicate and connect with the universe. Now, because you're not fully in that dream yet, you haven't imagined what that aspect of your dream will feel like. You're just imagining you being out there and feeling as though you have that dream. That's just the first aspect of self. So that's wonderful. So what they're asking for you is to, when you are imagining your dreams coming true, and they will be, it's the first part of it is coming in with the portal. I feel as though some kind of either contract or some kind of, you'll be highlighted in some way, which is just the beginning. Now, that in itself is going to be brilliant, and that you have thought of a million times before and brought into your reality. Now, the support that you will get after this contract, the support that you will get when you put your work and yourself out there, has not actually really been felt. So the universe wants you to release the idea that you will be on your own when you've received your dream, when you're living your dream, like somehow you'll just be living on this like island on your own completely, you know, not be surrounded by people in every walk of life who are around you and supporting you. So I feel as though there's a little bit of nervousness with the unexpected and a little bit of nervousness with the releasing aspect of what you no longer need, because, you know, you're almost prolonging your dreams coming true because you don't know what it's going to look like on the other side. And as we've stated, what you have done is that you have manifested this reality, and it was always going to happen. But they want you to try it on in a new way. So they want you to release the past, and you already know, I'm being told you absolutely already know what you need to release. There's certain patterns of behavior. There's certain things that you need to do. And some of it is one of the things that I'm getting very strongly is that when you get something great, it's going to be taken away from you. So this is a subconscious thought. Now, this is just, I like to say the word echo because it's not really in there. It's just an echo. So you might want to do some meditation about self-worth. Now, again, you have been working spiritual maturity. You've really been working on yourself in a vast way. So this is just an echo. So any of this that just comes up, you know, whatever happens, the other thing that you have is like, you know, anything that you achieve, not necessarily will be taken away, but there will be people who protest it, or once, if you achieve it easily, you won't be able to keep it easily. There will be a lot of people that sort of have a lot of criticism against you and that sort of thing. So, you know, this reading is not to tell you that nobody will ever criticize you again. That's not what we're doing. But what they want you to know is that when you do achieve this dream, you're going to have the support system, and you're going to have this frequency around you where you're not going to care, because you'll be in line with who it is that you're supposed to be and what it is you're supposed to do. So they're asking you to step forward and take that responsibility, full responsibility for this manifestation that you've already done. I feel as though for you, the number 13 is really coming up too. So this really is an end of a phase. For some of you, you may be born on the 13th. Even this is very specific, but you know, one of you or some of you might even be the 13th child. But I feel as though, and I feel like one of you even has like 13 as a tattoo, or you're wearing it. Very specific, but the number 13 is really coming in thick and strong. It is a brand new beginning for you, with the new responsibility of understanding that bringing in your entire being of everything that you've ever wanted, taking on that responsibility of what it fully looks like. And what it fully looks like is that you are supported from the ground up to the heavens. So a little bit of you, the same with pile one, just a little bit. These are very different readings, but in this way, it actually correlates just a little bit, because I do feel as though that you've manifested so much and you've worked so much on how you manifest. You're very incredible at manifesting. Your will, your vision is very focused, but an aspect of it is visualized from the 3D, because that's all you knew. They're asking you to visualize everything that you've ever wanted from the 5D, which means supreme support, everything that you've ever wanted, and your soul family around you to celebrate constantly, and just moving up the ladder after that. The criticism won't matter. Nothing will matter after this happens, because nobody will be able to take away your power, because you will be on a path that's very unique to you. You would have released everything you no longer need. And the people who will supposedly oppose you will not have the power in this lifetime to do anything. So you're giving a little bit too much power to the people who you believe might oppose you should you come into this manifestation, which you absolutely have manifested, and you can absolutely taste it, but then you're afraid of the responsibility of it and the unexpected side of it when you actually walk into this. So what they're saying is you actually have a soul family. You have what you need to really focus on this manifestation in a 3D manner. They're asking you to work in a 3D manner and leave the 5D, they're asking you to work on in a 5D manner, completely 5D, and leave the 3D behind, without thinking about any opposition or anybody with any kind of negativity. Just leave all of that behind. This will manifest for you a brand new release, like walking into what it is that you are supposed to do without a shadow of a doubt, coming into this portal. Like I said, I do, for some of you at least, see some kind of contract coming in. So taking your work to the next level, taking who you are to the next level. A lot of you are artists, creativity. Some of you are writers, filmmakers. Whatever it is, the word service keeps coming up. You'll definitely be serving the world. You'll be serving each other. So let's see what we have here. So there's a few different things here. Let's see. Girls can tell. So there's an aspect of the feminine coming in here. And like with pile 1, 2, we have the affinity symbol. So you're asking to think eternally too. With this hand, I do definitely feel as though you're holding your brand new future. We use this came up in pile 1, also geometric shape. So working within a different aspect of self insofar as we're working within the 5-dimensional, the 5D from now on in. There's been echoes of the 3D, which you're about to release. So the divine feminine, you are definitely, the message that I'm getting here, at least for these, is that you, regardless of gender, it's got nothing to do with gender, you are here to support the divine feminine in some ways. Now, if that is stepping into your divine masculine, then that's the way that you're going to do that. Sacred geometry, moving forward in such a way that's melding the old behaviors into the brand new, which is what this bicycle is kind of moving forward, but taking the old sort of philosophy, the old ways of being and integrating into brand new sort of 5D ways of being. This has really come up, the eternal, any aspect of self here, with this beautiful, I just love the eternity, the eternity symbol, just going backwards and forwards. And it's just, this is what you have. So you're being asked to see from the eternal way of thinking, which again is 5D. I definitely see travel for a lot of you. I also see a movement in many different ways, brand new movement. The other thing that I see is that a lot of times, for some of you, the unexpected, you're trying to try it on but you're so close to something brand new, you can't grab onto anything that's really specific, and that's why you feel a little bit lost. But the other way of seeing this is the brand new beginning will come in with actual tangible ways of moving forward. So maybe keep everything open, like if you're looking for a house but you don't know where, the type of house that you want, keep looking, but maybe don't try and single yourself down to one particular area. Keep it open. Remember, the word is expansion for this portal here. And the hand you have here, I mean, you are going to hold everything that you want. And definitely travel. I see that the travel might happen very quickly insofar as that, you're just moved into the 3D, what you're supposed to do, and then you're gone. Remember, sacred geometry. I am feeling with the pineapple, which I think is really cute. I'm not just seeing tropical. For some reason, this little pineapple is talking about love, and a successful love, where you have met your match, your counterpart. So that's also coming in a really beautiful way too for some of you. I feel as though that's coming in. And even though it's tropical, my mind wants me to tell you that you're going to Maui or something like that. But for some reason, this is telling me that if any of you are looking for a home or something that's secure, that's yours, that's balanced, your new way of being, that's what this represents, and that's what you'll get. So brand new beginnings in such a huge way for this portal coming in, pile 2. So remember, imagine and manifest completely from the 5D. Don't worry about the unexpected or just the little details, because you don't necessarily know how it's going to look, but it is coming in. The number 13 is huge. Release. You're ready to release. You're ready to do this. And don't worry about the responsibility, because you just need to see this and manifest in its entirety. When you manifested this or decided to manifest this in this lifetime before you came down here in this lifetime and this timeline, you already manifested everybody you needed and everything that you needed in order to secure the support system for you. You need to remember that aspect of the manifestation. You're not supposed to do this alone, and you won't. So walk into that responsibility. Grab that 5D way of manifesting. It's already there for you, and absolutely use this expansion energy to pull in once and for all your dreams, because it's going to happen. All right, pile 2, I hope this resonated with you. Do give me a thumbs up if it did. Let me know down below in the comments. I love to hear from you guys, and let me know if any of the charms, the specific charms, resonated with you too. I'm really excited for you, pile 2. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, pile 3. This is for you. If you chose the tiger's eye, this is yours. So again, these are timeless messages, even though we are talking about a specific portal that lasts 10, 11 days, that starts on the full moon and goes all the way to the winter solstice. So that portal is going to be massive, bringing massive energy. The word is expansion. So we're looking for any kind of clues, any kind of messages that we can give you to help you integrate the energy to move forward in this portal, to really use this portal energy in any way to move forward. We're also going to use the charms. Hopefully they will present a little bit of extra specific love and help and message for you. So let's go ahead and do this. So we have inner peace. Woohoo! We have boundaries, which is reversed. We have the page of water, intuitive, sensitive, artistic, friendly, new person enters your life, new relationship, new phase. And Ariel, love Ariel, strength, love, the Lover's card, and Prince of Sword. So the first thing that I'm getting here is that a lot of you are focusing, at least the energy here in pile 3, which is completely different energy from pile 1 and 2, is that you are focusing on love. Now there's different aspects to this, which is wonderful. You are definitely focusing on self-love. The one thing that you guys were not very good at, God love you, were boundaries. You were not very good at boundaries before, and this is what you did. You put everybody else first and not yourself. So you've had to learn some hard truths with this. I feel as though you feel as though maybe that you've gone around in circles and learned the same thing over and over again, but I assure you that is not true. I would say in the last maybe 3 months, there has been huge and massive lessons that have integrated into and in and around the idea of boundaries. You finally have them now because you've been working on self-love. Now, what you've done without in the past, when you've not, preserved your boundaries, you've given your power away. And then that's led you to believe that you don't have enough strength to manifest what it is that you want. And that wasn't entirely true. And this is a truism that you've just realized because you've been working on this boundary issue. So hopefully that resonates with you. If that hadn't been quite articulated yet, then that hopefully will sort of put everything into place for you like a jigsaw puzzle. So let's specifically talk about the energy around this portal that's coming in. And again, for you, expansion. The word is expansion for everybody, and definitely for you. So what you've done is that you've worked on yourself first, which is absolutely brilliant. And you've also been really honest with how it's like you've sort of segregated aspects of self and your life, and you've really been very analytical. And I feel as though this full moon that's coming in, and again, I'm gonna post the full moon reading underneath. Even though there's a lot of emotionality around this sort of full moon and what's coming up and releasing, it is a full moon in Gemini. So you've really been looking into being analytical, at least for the last couple of months coming in. And this phase is going to be great for you. You've been able to decipher. Normally I say for people, don't overthink this. You know, this has happened, it's done. But for you, this is great because the last couple of months have been quite extreme for you. The circles of what's happened with boundaries have sort of blown up, and you've been left sitting there going, oh my God, where is that person? Why is this happening? Because instead of going round and round and round and keep learning new aspects of this boundary issue, they've sort of ended for you, and you've been able to go back and actually see where you took place in this boundary issue, which is kind of massive for you. whereas before you were still living aspects of it out. So I feel as though there's been dramatic endings for you that's lost people, lost situations. But there's a bit of sweet in this, even though you may have lost them or you've lost that situation. You have enough self-preservation and love to let them go in peace and realize that, this is a better way of doing it. Whereas before you might have been like really miffed or really hurt or not really understood, or maybe not taken full responsibility for your aspect of it. Or if you did take full responsibility of your aspect of how this manifested and why it manifested, you didn't know how to really shift it and change it and integrate it so you could move into a brand new beginning. But you've done that. And I feel as though the way in which you've done that is that, so that for me, this Prince of Swords is saying that you've taken your own truth and you've walked in to a new aspect of self, which is reclaiming, I feel as though, your masculine side. And again, this has nothing to do with gender, but really reclaiming your masculine side in a really, really profound way that I feel as though for you before, you either, really lashed out, or you didn't say anything, or you lashed out at the wrong person, or you really lashed out at yourself. That's a lot of things that's going on. Been really difficult and hard on yourself, pile 3, naughty. That's easy to do, and we all do it, but it doesn't get us anywhere, and this is what you know. But the issue with the boundaries, which is no longer an issue, you've come full forward, brand new beginning with this, because you've walked into this essence of using your masculine side in an assertion in a way that preserves your boundaries without having to protect them, which is really great. Now, some people really protect their boundaries so much that they lash out all the time, or they just sort of miss out on so much because they're always in protective modes. And that's the way that they need to be. And we're not here to say anything about that today. But for you, you found that inner peace. You found that inner balance of, yes, having your boundaries, but not needing to protect them. But at the same time, there is a time of stepping into that masculine sense of self and saying, no more, but doing it with love and light. And that's what you've done. This is really beautiful. This love that you have for yourself that you just come into it's always been there, but this is coming in a brand new way, really expansive and absolutely gorgeous. This portal is going to move you into a new sense of love, which is going to integrate into every aspect of your life. Definitely bringing in, if you're not seeing anybody right now, definitely bringing in a new person. But we're not even talking about love. We're talking about all aspects of love. Like, I see you at a restaurant having fun and laughter. I feel as though the one thing that you've sort of missed out on is you have moments of laughter. You have an excellent sense of humor, pile 3, but you don't use it often enough, like laughter and joy. You've been working on yourself and this analytical side of you that's been going on, and that's been really focused on a little bit and been supported by the universe, because you've needed to do this analytical side because there's been so many endings. This is the time to do it, not to keep going back and over about everything that's ever done. But now you can honestly look back on absolutely everything and see the trail of thought and say, all right, now I've got it. Move into this masculine, beautiful sense of self, which doesn't need to over assert. It still comes from self-love, because you're not coming from self-preservation anymore. You can see everybody's point of view and you're not here to judge, but at the same time you get to say, you know what, that's just not okay. And then you get to come out of the situation without going over it and over it and over it in your head, which is something I feel like you tend to do, pile 3, but you're not doing that anymore. You can just let it go. This new version of self, which really balances out the masculine and feminine in a really unique way for you, is really going to pull in and assert this inner peace. I feel like there's been this peace in the last couple of months in a new way, but it's been upcycled. If something happens, then you can get, as we say at home, you can get your knickers in a twist a little bit, and you feel as though and then you have this day where it's and then you go back into equilibrium, which is this is the way that we work. It's not that nothing's ever going to upset us anymore. But you're coming into this new way of being where you're just going to let people do whatever they want, and it just won't affect you anymore because you have that inner peace anyway. You're just coming out of the point where your inner peace can't be influx or influenced by others from the external, but you can bring yourself back pretty quickly, far quickly than you've ever been able to do that before, because your sense of self and your sense of inner love and self-love is just extreme, and can I say quite beautiful. But this new portal is bringing in this sense of inner peace that just shifts into the 5D. You're already there, but everybody's been shifting backwards and forwards to expel the old. And for you, there's been a spewing of the old. I can feel as though, as beautiful as it's been quite difficult in many ways, and I totally understand that. So you're no longer giving away or misunderstanding power and strength. You're standing in your own in this beautiful sense of truth in this new masculine way. There's also a new way for you. A lot of you, pile 3, and this is a general reading, so take what you will, but I am getting the message that a lot of you have misinterpreted the patriarchy with the universe, and you're reestablishing. This has come up with a couple of readings for me recently, and this is something that happens a lot without us quite realizing or articulating what we're doing. But you have been under the assumption that the universe and the patriarchy are one and the same. So your creation has been coming from an anger at the patriarchy and a distrust of the universe, because you believe the universe allowed all of this to happen to you, whatever the patriarchy did, and there's a little bit of anger in there. And again, this is very, very specific, just message for some of you. But there's been this understanding that the universe does not judge. The universe is absolutely nothing to do. It encompasses absolutely the patriarchy, but it's not the patriarchy. And you've really understood and taken that aside and pulled those two meanings out recently. So your connection with the universe has been one of love and profound connection in a way that you've not been able to do before, and integrate that love that's come right back into the heart center. And it's also allowed you to step away from the understanding of the patriarchy, not take all of the stuff that they do to heart. Now, that's not to say that they've not done horrible things, and especially in past lives, and they have. But for you, the injustices that you will be working with, and a lot of you are artists and be out to bringing all this message into the 5D, can be bought with an area of love and wisdom, which can only happen if you give yourself the relevant space to be able to do it. And you have to give yourself space from the anger of what the patriarchy has done. Now, you've actually done this recently. You've really pulled apart the understanding of the universe and the patriarchy, and you've made your peace with the idea of the patriarchy. That does not mean that you're okay with what they've done, and that does not mean that you will stand for injustice. It just means that the way in which you will work with injustice in this lifetime will be very, very different and far more powerful. So that's another thing that you've come into. So let's go ahead and see if we can get some more specific messages for you. Pile 3. All right. Do we have a few things? Love. My goodness. Hello. I mean, you've got this love here that's sort of radiating out and sort of on a pedestal. So you'll be able to do this for other people. You've been working on yourself and your self-love, and you've understood by putting yourself first, again, well done, that you can do more good. You can do much more in the world when you put yourself first and love. This keeps coming up. The affinity symbol. Thinking of things in eternal sense. This is coming in with the expansion energy of coming out of 3D completely and into 5D. So we are thinking about complete expansion of the heart. Your heart chakra is definitely going to expand in a really profound way here. So I feel as though these are really fun. So we have this, for me, really comes back to what we were talking about, the circle. If you can see, you have two of these two. So we have perfect balance, and we have the circle coming around, and there's a skull on either end. So it really does tell me, and really does drive home the message that all the stuff that you've been working on, that you feel as though has been circling around for many years, even though you can feel the difference in each situation, you have learned something a little bit different, but then you've gone back into a situation where it's still a little bit more similar, and you're like, oh, when is this going to end? When am I going to learn and absolutely be at the end of this completely, end of the situation? So your circle is complete for many different things, and your brand new beginning is complete. This is also to help you realize that the shadow of light and dark that you've been realizing, you've been going deep with this darkness within for you. And for some of you, and this is again very specific, and I don't want to get too heavy into this, but you've really reestablished your version of evil, and what that means, and that's because you've stepped into your divine masculine in a different way. And again, I want to make clear that making peace with the patriarchy does not mean that you're complacent with what's happened. You're going to be working with this energy. Excuse me, I hope that didn't. You're going to be working with this energy, not with the patriarchy, but you're going to be working with 5D energy in order to expose and support those who have been hurt by the patriarchy. I feel that very strongly, but you'll be able to do this in new ways. So this for me is definitely the ending of a circle, the balance of light and dark in a brand new way, redefining evil. I definitely do feel as though for this, I'm definitely feeling it's not necessarily, but the knots of life, Celtic, binding the old with the new, wisdom, but moving forward in a brand new direction. Again, this is definitely, I love this. This is, signify boat moving forward, brand new beginnings, definitely travel, but again, not so many different types of travel we've talked about here. We've talked about interdimensional travel, which again might sound a little like woo and out there, but this is what this is about with the affinity, thinking completely differently. The travel, oh, and the star, I just saw this. My goodness, this is wonderful. So this is definitely moving into an ideal version of self, coming back to the self-love and being able to, again, so this is, this is the platform of the love and coming in from the heart chakra and being able to radiate this out into the world in a brand new way. So this is an ending of self, a completion of circle, expansion, brand new beginnings in a way that are going to be held completely steadily and move you into your brand new beginning. So pile 3, this is the work that you've done, especially on the divine masculine and your sense of understanding yourself within the patriarchy and how that's worked for you, and boundaries and the ending of all of those sort of circulatory affairs going through and watching all of these go through and try to muster and write down. I see some of you writing down notes of what you've learned in each one, and finally going full circle and just moving out of all of this. And that's because you've learned with these boundaries how to do this for real and for good. And it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, you're going to be radiating luminosity for sure. And your brand new beginning is going to be really interesting. We're going to have to see, and do let me know down below if any of the specifics resonate with you, but do give me a thumbs up if this resonated with you. I know some of this had the aspect of ethereal, so just bear with the understanding. You might have to re-listen to some of this reading as you come into the energy of the portal of the expansion, but feel free to come back and visit and re-listen whenever you need to. But I'm very excited for you, pile 3. Absolutely beautiful brand new beginnings and a huge ending which you will not go back to anymore. So this is incredible. So I'm just going to put your pile 3 over there. I'm going to say thank you for joining me today. It was such an honor to be with you. I'm so excited for this portal and this beautiful energy of expansion. And until we meet again, let's just say bye-bye for now.